My question is to the Prime Minister. In this House yesterday, the Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Wages are increasing under this government," end quote. But, Prime Minister, page 6 of the government's own budget paper number 1 shows real wages will fall by 2.25% this financial year. Are the Treasurer's budget papers wrong, or did the Prime Minister mislead the House?
The member for Holt is warned. Order. Members on my left and right. The member for McEwen is warned. Time is not to interject before any minister speaks. Prime Minister has the call.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. Well, I'm delighted to get a question from the opposition about wages, because there are two different positions. Those on that side of the chamber had low wages as a key feature of the economic architecture. They consciously wanted low wages. We on this side have said very clearly that we want to lift wages. We understand that wages are a part of people's living standards, and that's why I'll be very interested in what the response is to our aged care position. The $1.3 billion that is in the budget to lift the wages of aged care workers, 250,000 of them.
Order. Well,
you can't be serious.
The Prime Minister is talking about wages and who is getting increase in wages. So I'm going to ask you to pause, but out of respect for the Deputy Leader, I will take her point of order. But he could not be more relevant while he's talking about wages increase, which you specifically asked about.
Respectfully, Speaker, this is on relevance. The Prime Minister is not addressing whether the budget papers misled the House or whether the Prime Minister misled the House.
Order. I'm just going to ask the Prime Minister to continue and not to be interrupted with his answer.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. I'm being totally relevant. No wonder they're concerned about the $11.3 billion package that we put in place to assist the wages of people in aged care. $11.3 billion, because what we've said very clearly, is that aged care workers deserve more than our thanks. They deserve a wage increase. That's what they deserve. And during the election campaign, I well recall, I kept that lucky $1 coin in my pocket, Mr Speaker. I kept it in my pocket during the debate.
Minister for Skills.
During the debates, it's in the drawer. It is in the drawer. There it is. Here it is. It's in the drawer.
Order.
And during the campaign, I thank the Minister for Infrastructure for once again being helpful.
Order.
Because during the campaign, I held up this $1 coin.
Order. The member for Deakin will resume his seat for a moment. The Prime Minister will pause as well. The Prime Minister will pause. The member for Deakin will resume his seat. Just for a moment. Just ask the Prime Minister to pause. Member for Deakin, that is not appropriate to come to the dispatch box and say to someone to sit down. Okay? If you want to make a point of order, Prime Minister can pause. Under the standing orders, you're entitled to raise a point of order, and I'll hear your point of order. Order.
Mr. Speaker,
on my left.
Mr. Speaker, it was a point of order, and when someone stands for a point of order, it's customary that the minister sits.
Order. And it's also customary to wait till you call before you do that. Sure. So continue on with your point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whilst the Prime Minister is holding up a prop, he should tell the Australian people that that dollar's worth less now.
Resume your seat. Order. Members on my right and the left will cease interjecting. The Minister for Climate Change and Energy is warned. I'll hear from the order. Members on my right. I'll hear from the Leader of the House.
Thanks, Speaker. I refer to your previous rulings about points of order which are deliberately designed to disrupt, that are clearly not points of order, and also refer to the warnings you've been giving to that particular member over the last few days.
The Manager of Opposition Business on a point of order.
And Mr Speaker, as you deliberate on this matter, I do remind you of the long-established prohibition on the use of props.
Just going to ask the Prime Minister to put the dollar coin away and continue with his answer.
Mr Speaker, they find the dollar coin offensive. You know what I find offensive? The fact that they thought a $1 an hour increase for people on the minimum wage would wreck the economy. That's what I find offensive. And that's why during the election campaign I held up that $1. Because that said it all about the difference between Labor and the coalition. Those opposite will always stand up for those who don't need government to make a difference. Always there to say, let the market rip. Don't worry about helping people who need help. We on this side make no apologies for standing up for those people who are on the minimum wage. And I say to the Leader of the Opposition, you should have stayed outside for a bit longer because it wasn't going well.
Has concluded.